Do I believe that it's finally done? Ask me tomorrow after I've slept and awakened and found out whether or not it was actually all a dream. Wow. It turned out well. I am cautious about saying this, but it turned out the way I envisioned it, and the gate is up, and I'm glad I get to show some video of how that finally came together. And please let me know what you think, including any suggestions about some of the stuff that was really not great craftsmanship. I'm trying to do better. But anyway, really glad I got to do this, and I think the folks are happy with it and are gonna enjoy it and find it useful. And hopefully the dogs will be more peaceful and happy with that space set up as well. Let's take a look. I really am gonna try to get this gate done. I'm hoping today, but I'm gonna try to get it done. And so this is a bit of overkill, I'm sure, but I've got these bolts that I'm going to put through on the hinges on the side of the door. I can't do the same thing on the post. I've gotten these heavy duty screws to go in on the posts. I'm going to use some wood glue too, but the idea here is to put these bolts all the way through and try to get it as solid as I can possibly get it so that it'll last a long time. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, like I said, this is some overkill. Wow, that's a lousy split washer. That one's not going to be any good. But this is what the facing side of the gate will do. I'm going to put 4 of these bolts all the way through and lock them down with split washers. It might work. I really shouldn't admit that these ragged holes are the product of my Forstner bits, because I don't have a drill press yet. So just kind of doing the best I can. Since I already had a hole drilled, it was hard to center it, and I'm always struggling with that. But they're done, and so now I think I'm going to go ahead and put a sealer on this and let it dry for a while, so that at least I can feel like I've got some kind of protection on this wood for the hopefully years to come, where this gate will be useful for my friends. Okay. And how's this for just trying to make do the best I can? I got a rag, supposedly microfiber. Didn't have any brushes handy, didn't want to spend money on them. Had this Olympic Maximum sealer that when I opened it after shaking it, it was kind of crusty inside. But I've wiped on a very heavy coat on both sides. I'm going to let it set and dry a bit, and then try to install the hardware so that I can then take it over to my friend's place and cut the slots for the hinges with my router, and hopefully finish it up. That's the idea. Okay, these do not seat completely, but I think I'm going to be able to snug them in, and they're going to be very, very strong. That's the idea. Here's what the other side looks like, and now let's get the washers and the fasteners on. Sometimes hopes can come true too. I didn't know for sure that these wouldn't spin at the bottom, but because I actually had to grind them down a bit to try and get them to fit into the V-neck of that hinge, and they do not spin at the top. So I can tighten these down completely from just one side and I think they're going to be extremely durable. They are fastened down, and it's almost time to take this to the location and find out what detail I wasn't remembering to take into account. Should be fun. Well, I've been threatening to get this done for weeks, months, and they have decided that the 4x4, the 4-inch height, is the right height, so that's what we're going to go with. And here's the basic rough draft. So now it's time to scare myself with whether or not I can do the router correctly again. Boy, I sure hope so. So ideally this will close flush, and that will make it so the dogs can't push it out. So I am going to hog out the line of the hinge plate, or the hinge itself, after I get the plate cut out, area cut out for the hinge plate. So yeah, it's like a little bit of fear-based procrastination right now. All right, that's roughed out, and I do mean rough. Forgot that I was going to get a little deep after I didn't have anything to go against here. I need to do from the middle out, don't I? All right, let's try and do the other one. Well, is this better than nothing? I'm real concerned about this wood rotting away quickly because it's been exposed with the router. So I just happen to have some high heat spray paint in the truck. It's for metal, but I thought, well, let's at least get some kind of coating on that. Any expert opinion out there on how much of a waste of time this is, I'd be glad to know it for future reference. Let's see if it fits now. Yeah, it looks like it fits. I think I got the groove deep enough here for the hinge to move and set down flush. Maybe not quite enough on the bottom. I might try to do that one a little bit more. Actually, even if the paint doesn't help the wood, it helped me, because I found a couple of rubs where I needed to knock out just a little bit more wood. Okay, I'll take a win when I can get it. And I'm getting close to just drilling some holes. Let's see. All right, one screw is in and it is flush. And now I need to put one screw in down here to make sure I've got the axis right. I don't do too well on this three-dimensional XYZ axis stuff, so it needs to come in just a hair to make this slot consistent, and that's the next step. Well, my friend, the resident in this home, has given the approval. I've only so far got one screw in at the top and one screw in at the bottom, just to make sure it's going to go okay. And we level things out a little bit here. Then it opens up. Oh, blessed and grateful. Thank you, Lord. May this be exactly what they need for as long as they need it. Thank you. I think I suggested to this friend from church that I could do this probably 3 months ago, maybe longer. The thought that it's finally done is a joy. Yeah, what a blessing. Thank you, Lord, for America and for shoestring budgets and making it work with what you got.